Okay, well, let's start. What's the latest and how bad is it?
Yeah, before I walked in, I actually checked how many areas are on government's high to medium risk, and it's actually 95, and that's a very high level. Although looking at the cases, if you compare it to what's happening in the U.S. right now, it's still a very small outbreak. But in China's context, it's really unseen for more than a year since the Wuhan outbreak was waning down. So this really highlights the moment, like when Delta variant comes in, how strongly the Chinese vaccines, which is at a high rate right now among major economies, how can it hold up to fend off this virus outbreak? So that's why we are really concerned right now. Like the government is looking at giving out booster shots to high-risk people. So they are studying the possibility of doing that for elderly, for people with high contact to COVID risks. So that's something we continue to watch.
Usually when we see headlines like that, you immediately see a headline that says the city's going to be in lockdown. What has the response been so far?
So over the weekend, Beijing, for example, reported 3 more cases locally, and that's on top of the previous 2. And after that, Beijing said they are going to swiftly react to the outbreak in the city, and they are going to stop transport into Beijing from those places now with COVID cases. And they are also going to limit people that are affected in Beijing to leave from the community. So that's also like the strategy we are seeing with a lot of other smaller outbreaks elsewhere in China. The flood-hit city like Zhengzhou is also like reacting really quickly after seeing a cluster in its hospital designated for COVID cases. So that's continuing to be China's COVID-0 strategy. Whenever they see a flare-up, they will react strongly, quickly, and do mass testing, for instance, in the flood-hit city, Zhengzhou.
We're just going to get a graphic up of the vaccine rollout. I think we're at 1.65 billion based on some data that we have here. There was also some talk about a third booster shot that will be applied to who? It wasn't very clear.
So right now the government is studying the possibility to apply it to elderly, to people with underlying disease or people working in the high risk of contact with COVID cases. But they haven't seen the evidence that it's needed for everybody. So right now it seems like it's still in a policy designing stage and there's no conclusion yet.